I have an announcement to make.
Joe Flipperhead. I'm gonna put Joe Flipperhead on that set.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for.
It's a beautiful silver. It doesn't tarnish, and it has little, pardon my Jersey nails, and I curse like a sailor. Jen McCabe, she kept saying, "Can you show me? Can you show me?" You know what the message is? Fuck off.
Fucking only, Nan. I can't.
And I will have Nan Gallagher, the notorious Nan Gallagher, on with me.
So all of you should imagine what it's like to meet someone you've watched on a screen for well over a year, who you really admire, and have an opportunity to just have a really important conversation with them. So thanks for having me.
Stop that shit. Stop that shit. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that. If you're wondering why I hardly ever get people on this show, and just the whole, talking to people.
Beautiful silver bracelet, just ties in the back with black cords. And it's Morse code.
It's a pain in the ass to me, dude.
Hold up, bitch. Hold up, check it out. How you don't know damn nigga that'll represent like me, who will say some shit like me, one who will lay the dick like me, bitch. You don't know damn nigga.
Everybody experienced this at least once. One grade in their childhood where you have somebody just like Bev who's grading papers and going, Mr. Jackson. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, sure. And she's like, I'll most likely allow it. I just need more detail. More detail into what? What do you need? The fuck? And now you want a more detailed affidavit. No, dude. The paper's fine. It's an A. Fucking get your red marker out. Give it an A so that I could fucking move on and I could fucking go to recess.
Check it out. How you don't know damn nigga that'll represent like me, who will say some shit like me, one who will lay the dick like me, bitch. You don't know damn nigga.
I'm an attorney from New Jersey and New York. I'm licensed in Jersey, New York, DC, and the Third Circuit. I've been practicing now for almost 25 years. I then started following true crime. Mommy Likes Murder developed, and that's when I became a big fan of yours. Thank you. LTL Media and Mike Crawford, the Young Jerks. I started following The Glarer.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Wow. Lawferio, Jesus, you are way, way too generous, man.
Hold up, check it out. How you don't know damn nigga that'll represent like me, who will say some shit like me, one who will lay the dick like me, bitch. You don't know damn nigga who do the shit that I do.
Motion because Mr. Betterow is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Betterow has specialized skill and knowledge.
You fucking know how to say his name, Bev. Fucking stop it right now. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
And most importantly, I am not Betterow. Like, I think that's going to be my new nickname. I am not Betterow.
Betterow is your worst fucking nightmare, and you fucking know it. Stop it.
She's not Betterow. He's king, and he is the king. I don't need to be a queen. I'm gonna deal with my reading glasses. We're gonna dig through these.
Yeah.
Caution, I have no filter. I have heard some attorneys, law tubers say, oh, Brennan's very smart. I don't agree with that. I think he's a complete idiot. I love your, these are my badass glasses, by the way.
I'll keep you updated, but I had to tell you. Do you know who's retrying the Carey case?
Fucking only, Nan. I can't.
We're going to find out.
It says fuck off.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woo! How's it going, people? I hope everybody's doing well. Damn, I cagged the woo again, man. It happens when I got a bunch of windows open and stuff. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. Today was crazy. I'm going to go ahead and bring on the one and only Nan Gallagher, Lawferio, only Nan, all of it. What's up, homie?
What's up? Long time no see.
Mm-hmm.
Good to be here, everybody. It's been a long day.
It's always good to have you.
Always good. I hope to be a recurring guest. I love that opening.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's going to happen every time you come on here now.
That's awesome.
It's just what it is.
Oh, no, you have to add things to it, though. You have to add things to your opening. I want Joe Flipperhead to clip Alessi today doing shh. And there's a couple of other little key points in today's presentation where I was noting in your chat to have Joe clip some things.
Well, good luck with that. I'm not going to tell Joe Flipperhead what to put in his video.
You work for me.
You heard her, Joe. You work for Nan. That's it now.
Oh my God, it's so good to be here, though. Everyone's probably still up in arms over how today went, and it's really not over. So while the argument ended, it's not over. But
right,
happy to talk.
Yes, I mean, so just to piggyback off of that thought there, so this argument by Alessi took most of the day, and so Brennan is going to be, I would imagine, awarded just as much time to make his counter arguments. But I mean, what is there to argue? He's just flat out lying. What I got out of that, and maybe it's confirmation bias, I don't know, but what I got out of that was Alessi covered everything, did not allow any corners to be uninhabited for Brennan to gravitate towards when he made his argument. Please.
Yeah, no. So let me say this, and the chat or you can correct me if I'm wrong, because at the very tail end of the day, that's when my day actually heated up, and then I have littles who come home from school and have activities. But I thought that the arguments ended today, and maybe I'm wrong. So please, someone correct me in the chat.
Maybe.
Yeah, it sure looked to me like in the short amount of time, which was only about 30 minutes or so, Brennan presented his arguments, which were absolute BS. And I will go to blows with you, Will, over this. You're my new friend, but he is an idiot. He's a conniver, but he's still an idiot. But anyway, so I think he did present all of his. Thanks, chat. I appreciate you letting me know. He finished his arguments, and then there was an opportunity for Alessi to kind of come in and make some. They both went back and forth. It was like chickens pecking at each other. But today was, masterful arguments from Bobby Alessi. I've already put out the bat call for someone to make me a T-shirt that says "Really?" with Bob Alessi's face on it. So a bunch of people have responded, and thank you. And also, if anyone is interested, I'm wearing my "I'm only talking to my dog today"
Nice.
T-shirt. So, but anyway, I digress. As far as today went, though, this was perhaps the longest battle I have seen between two attorneys, and it was, in my opinion, Brennan was outmatched, not only in argument and legal presentation of argument and the facts, but also two attorneys just kind of going back and forth with each other over splitting hairs, inaccuracies being presented again to the court by Brennan, which I've kind of noted several, and we can talk about them. And then also, I was really happy to see that after the lunch break, the concerns that I had after last week's argument, which kind of rose to my mind as being very important and a very important part, that they were raised by Alessi in terms of an attorney's duty of candor to a tribunal. And I don't say that to, I kind of celebrated in your chat. I was like, I was right. But I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist as a lawyer to know that this was a candor issue, but it really stuck out in my mind because a lot of Free Karen Reed supporters had what I perceived to be a sense of confusion and panic last week. Like, what, WTF just happened? All of a sudden, Judge Bev has, respectfully, a conniption and closes the hearing last week. And a lot of people were like, what just happened? So the anti-Free Karen readers were like, this is great. We're educated, which is ridiculous. And then the Free Karen Reed individuals were probably confused and a little scared. And I, at the time, was like, this is very serious what Brennan had done. Because last week, he made these, as I called them, bald assertions on the record without an affidavit. So they are, in terms of legal argument, unsupported statements. And he just kind of said, well, I'm not opposing, or I'm really just at this time presenting concerns I have, without an affidavit, made his misstatements. And there were several. This isn't just the issue of, well, I corrected myself on the record. I said, once I realized that it was the defense that gave me this. It's not that. And that's,
well, he doubled down too.
Yes.
So not only did that happen, but he doubled down.
He doubled down. You said it in your stream. I said it like right after you said it in your stream. I was like, I was in your chat, but I was like,
if you guys haven't noticed, me and Nan, we's like this, son. Okay. Like I'm telling you, she texted me just before lunch.
Yeah.
With the exact same thing that Alessi was quoting and referencing when they came back from lunch. So Nan was on top of everything that Alessi was doing. And so the interesting thing now, before I continue real quick, I want to say, I don't want to go through this stream without acknowledging this. I'm going to take a quick little detour because it's important. I want to tell you on behalf of the community, how grateful I am. And I think we all are, as to that, what you did last time you were on here with the matching of the super chats with donation to Karen. That was unbelievable. That was amazing. Now she's not going to do that today, guys, but nevertheless, there is 2,000 people in here. And if you guys have questions for Nan, the best way to get them highlighted is to have them in a super chat, because those are the ones I never pass up, because I feel guilty as shit not being able to address every single one. And I was not able to do that last time. You guys were overwhelming with them, and I'm so grateful to you for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, to make things a little easier this time, this way we can go over each one. Direct your questions to Nan.
It occurs to me, Will, it occurs to me as I was wearing this hat all day while I was working from home and streaming. And, I won't say I was very productive work-wise today, but this is like my little poor boys hat.
It's styling, man. I got to tell you,
which I will say, now that I'm apparently poor and destitute and bankrupting my family, I think it's very appropriate. I'm going to start making it a thing.
I mean, kudos to your generosity and your hat. Now, Chris 10 is now a member. Welcome to the Lady Glady. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Nan.
I just also wanted to announce to your audience, this is water. This is, Nan and vodka and streaming and first time meeting Will. Not a good mix. If you're looking for some entertainment, watch the last 40 minutes of Saturday's stream.
Listen, bro, this is the channel you get to do that on. Okay. Understand that, because everybody else here seems to know this, but you. All right.
Want sound legal analysis. I think things kind of fall by the wayside if I imbibe too much. And I probably drank. I didn't actually drink that much, but I have to remember I'm not as fluffy as I used to be.
Have you seen the pictures of me and Betero? They're okay. Yeah. Go on my Instagram.
I will.
Because I've seen Betero in much rarer form just to make you feel a little bit better. Now, not on a live stream, mind you. But you were just slurring just a little tiny bit towards the end there, which is nothing even close to a fraction of the things that I've done online myself. So
all right. I don't feel
this is no, you should not. This is my entire point is that everyone here understands, except you, that this is the channel that if you want to let your hair down, you do that. No judgment. Everybody's human. You don't have to talk to me and treat me as if I'm Judge Bev. If you think I'm being an asshole, call me an asshole too. Look at Cherry, how she treats me in the chat. She's great.
That's awesome.
So yeah, this is the channel you get to say whatever's on your mind and you're good. This is not a safe place for anyone else, but it is a safe place for you, my new friend.
Oh, thank you. I think my computer's glitching again. I apologize. It's my wires. I will get situated. I'm not a professional streamer. So anyone can ask me anything they want, or if you want, I'll give you my overall takeaway from today before we do that. That might help you all formulate some questions. But totally up to you, Will.
Well, I just figure we'll just let the conversation go as naturally as we can, because what Alessi did was meticulously point out 10 specific lies that Brennan told on the 18th last week, but did not. Now, what he did was he pointed out these lies, but he did not refer to them as lies, because you can't just outright. It seems unprofessional to accuse someone of something because he's not a mind reader. So he felt the need to explain they were mistruths, and didn't even say that. He said misstatements.
Yeah,
or whatever.
And the benefit of the doubt.
Oh my God.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. 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 I think we got a super dad.
How dare you?
All right, now I'm going to try to keep those to a minimum. When I have a guest on, I try to keep those to a minimum, but I just played it the one time there for those of you who enjoy it. Annie Painter, thank you so much. Nan, can the defense ask Bev to recuse herself? Excellent question.
That's a good question, Annie. So they asked Judge Bev to recuse herself back in, I think it was 2023, if I'm getting my years right, at the outset of where things really started heating up. Now, admittedly, that was prior to trial 1.0, but the concerns that they raised at the time were a little different than concerns they might raise now. The concerns that they raised at the time had to do with the fact that the judge may have had some relationships that were questionable and raised concerns about appearance of impropriety. And the judge really dismissed them outright. I said on Saturday's stream, and for those who haven't seen it, you may want to, but I said, if a judge is questioned like that because of having relationships with fact witnesses, or siblings have relationships with fact witnesses in a trial, there is arguably an appearance of impropriety, and a judge might want to bow out just because of the question, whether or not he or she vehemently denies it. Now, I get the sense from the vibe I'm feeling on social media that there's this sense of bias and inequality in terms of her rulings. And I will say, I do find there is a clear disparity in how she treats one side versus the other. And the rulings seem to me, both in trial 1.0 and now pre-trial for 2.0, they seem imbalanced, including all the rulings that came out yesterday, those deny, all those motions, which were so important. They were primarily denied, or denied in part, granted in part. And with all of that said, can they renew a motion to recuse her? Sure. Does anyone in the chat think that she will recuse herself at this point? I'll leave that to you.
I'll go ahead and answer for the chat. No.
Yeah, no. And but it is a potential grounds for appeal if she were ever acquitted. If she were ever acquitted, there could be a significant inquest into this. And just as one last point on that for Annie, it really bothers someone like me who does make arguments before judges to see the way and the manner and quantity of which Judge Bev interrupts the defense, dismisses the manner in which they argue. Little things like when she told Yannetti, you don't have to have all of this hyperbole. When she tells Alessi today, you don't need to tell me where you're going. That is not only a great method of argument on Bob Alessi's part, but it's also that may be how his brain works. I mean, I don't want to sit here and say
what's wrong with being thorough with your argument? Setting a because
right.
I took it like he was setting he was setting a foundation for his argument.
It's like
that's all he was doing.
Setting the table, letting the court know where he's going to go. And by the way, he argued the same way methodically for the prior experts on those motions to either bar their testimony. I think it was Dr. Russell, might have been Richard Green. I can't remember, but that's how Bob Alessi argues. I gravitate towards it. I want to know where you're going. But when a judge sits there and says, you don't need to do it this way, you don't need to do it that way. I've had judges look me in the face and say, Miss Gallagher, you don't need to write. You don't need to take notes. Just listen to me. I don't work that way. I like to take notes. So there's a disparity of how they're being treated. And
noted, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yeah, I keep writing, by the way. No one's going to tell me how to
It's going to jot that down, Your Honor.
Yeah, and if anyone was with a real critical ear was listening, Bob Alessi kind of said, oh, that's very well, Your Honor. And then he went right back to doing it because that's how he works. Yeah, but I hope that answers your. Could they renew it? Sure. To recuse herself, I don't think
she won't. Right, she won't grant it. Michelle Monaghan says, hello, Nan and Will. Well, hello to you. Why is Bev doing such blatant denials and giving Brennan all this leeway with his bullshit, but unless he gets stopped about 10 times?
That sounds to me like a bit of a rhetorical question, Michelle.
Yeah.
I guess the short answer is, I don't know. It should be, look, even if Judge Bev is in the mix of corruption, if everyone wants to go that far and say she's part of the corruption, she's in it. it would behoove her to play both sides as equitably as possible so it doesn't appear so egregiously obvious that
Right.
favoring one
And
side.
I feel like she tries to do that. She tries to make that appearance, but because it's almost as if she's incapable of the empathy for someone else who would actually do that. So she doesn't know how to do it well. So she fails. And it's so obvious that she's trying to do it when she does it.
Yeah. And the other part of that is how many people notice about her that she'll say, I've read that. I have that.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that. Okay. So if you are familiar with all of the pleadings,
It's like she's self-conscious about it.
right? And then also, she goes out of her way to say she's read all this stuff. And she seems to be, as someone who argues before judges, she seems to be in lockstep with the attorneys making arguments to her. But then why does she then take time? And she's not alone. A lot of judges do this now. Why does she have to reserve decision or take it under advisement? If you're that on the ball and you're familiar with everything presented to you, then why do you have to go, swoop off into the darkness for days or weeks and issue decisions thereafter? Now, I know a lot of people will probably put in your chat because she needs to go call Morrissey or she needs to check with other judges. I won't go that far. I'm simply saying, like, come on, Judge Bev, you're 6 weeks or so before trial. We as Free Karen Read supporters, Karen Read herself, her defense team, the Commonwealth, tax-paying citizens, we need quick, efficient decision and disposition on these types of motions. This is a nothing burger. But
Right.
yet, Alessi made a great point today, which was, can we move off of this already? Because we got to get ready for trial. It's
Right.
It's a distraction. And I'm really pissed off that Brennan doubled down today. I really am. He should have started with an apology.
He should have.
But anyway.
He should have. The thing about that is this Brennan going all in like this and making these ridiculous and easily disprovable arguments. And the thing is Bev entertaining it. We all see it. And it's like Nick Rocco saying in the chat, this is all grounds for appeal, right? For later. So, but it sucks because they can't just take that lying down and they can't just let Brennan do this and then focus on the trial and be like, okay, we're not even going to bother with that. You can't take the high road, as it were. You have to argue against these claims, especially if they're not true. And now you've got Brennan. Basically what today was Brennan had the whole day on the 18th to tell lies.
Yeah.
And so the defense had to have all day today to counter those lies. They have to defend themselves against them. They have to put an argument up against them, or else they're just going to seem like, hey, they didn't object. So, they must be guilty of these things. So, and it's all just twisting and lying and a big waste of the court's time. But the defense's hands were tied. They had to address it.
They did. Judge Bev, by her ruling or closure of the hearing last week, forced the defense to have to take an exorbitant amount of time and effort to meet all of these, what we call specious allegations, point by point. And the other issue that I have with this is that hearing concluded February 18th, if I recall the date. Brennan, as far as I can tell from the docket, didn't file a single thing in the meantime. Not a new, like not an affidavit, not anything setting the record straight. He again made arguments today, I don't believe has any affidavits to support his position. And then, he comes into court, he doubles down. And I will tell your audience, I try to give perspective. Like, I've been before judges and my ethics and credibility have never been questioned. But I have been before judges where the minute I'm about to open my mouth, and this has happened more than once, where they say, Miss Gallagher, like, are you sure you want to make an argument today? Because I really have heard enough from the other side. And that is, in my opinion, what Judge Bev should have done today. She should have said, I just ate a smorgasbord from Robert Alessi, which dispels any concern whatsoever. And he raised what I will tell you all is extremely, extremely serious ethics charges. They were soft-handed, but they were serious.
And-
She took all that in. She should have said, Mr. Brennan, do you have anything you want to say? Because I would encourage you not to right now. And she didn't do that. So I'm done. I'm really done.
I completely agree with you. Or at least, you know, can you file these things in a motion with your proof of these allegations in your argument? Because here he was just allowed to spew all this out and take all day in that hearing when we're approaching court. We're approaching trial the 1st of April. So he was allowed to just spew this all out. But the defense has to rewrite their paper on Betterow because you know it wasn't detailed enough. So now they have to rewrite this whole thing on Betterow with more detail, the argument on Betterow, but not the allegations that the defense misrepresented themselves, acted unethically with witnesses. I mean, but you don't need that in writing, but you need the Betterow stuff in more detail. Get out of my fucking face.
You get it. This is why I vibe with you. And maybe you should be added to the Karen Reed defense team.
They don't want me on there.
She needs a more detailed affidavit on Betterow, but yet, like, look at what Alessi put together. I mean, seriously, make binders great again. Like, we should call him the Trapper Keeper, which is a term it's a term I'm stealing from Brian LTL. He was referencing Trapper Keepers the other day.
Trapper Keepers, okay.
But you know, I'm not kidding. Like, we should create merch with him and a Trapper Keeper. And for those of you who are too young in this chat,
well,
you can fuck off.
Brian would have to do that.
Brian.
That's
that's what I mean. I mean the free Karen readers, not the Glarers per se. But anyway, as far as
you can get Glare merch. See,
you can get Glare merch, yes. And honestly, though, she should have she took all of that in, and then Brennan made his unsupported, ridiculous arguments at the end where he doubled down, which I think was foolish on his part. And now she's going to take this under advisement. Who the hell knows what she's going to do? She needs to decide fast. What she should have done, and this used to frustrate me during 1.0, is say, you know what? We have other important pretrial motions that we must get through today. I'm giving each side of just a few minutes to present your arguments to me, and we'll step off of it. Because I'm sure Yannetti already has submitted to her. I really am sure of this.
Yeah, dude.
He's probably submitted some affidavit or certification.
We're talking about the same guy who had the foresight on February 2nd.
Yes.
To compel the preservation of evidence and discovery.
Right. So he probably,
which was the obligation of the prosecution already. He just wanted to make sure. I wanted on record that I asked for it and made sure that they knew how important I wanted it to be.
I agree. And while we're talking about what Yannetti could have submitted, I actually, while I knew going in that today's argument was going to be heavily, the hearing was going to be heavily spent on this issue that was argued today, I was actually hoping to see Betterow there. And if I missed him somewhere in the courtroom, I'm I need to wear my glasses more.
I didn't catch it either.
But I will tell you, even though he's not admitted pro hoc vice for the Karen Reed case, yes.
Vice, I've been saying vice.
Yeah, okay. Well, vice sounds better. But, it's I could teach you a whole lot of Latin terms that have inappropriate connotations.
I mean, I should know better. I
pro hoc vice. I'm okay with that. But I will tell you, though, I think because of the Betterow allegations that Brennan raised without an affidavit last week, I think Betterow should come to court. Sorry, Mark, if you're watching, maybe you're very comfortable sitting in your home in New York, but I think he should come and say, I need to set the record straight here. So the court has a better understanding of my role as it relates to the two cases. But anyway,
Fuck that. I say let Alessi argue for him.
he's amazing.
just to make sure. Let Alessi argue for him. That's what I say.
Unless he can argue anything
of
he wants
course,
from me.
Bettero, right? Exactly. That's my point. Like Bettero would do an excellent job, I'm sure. But I'm so impressed with Alessi today that I just, it was. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I made this point earlier today. I thought it was absolutely brilliant of them to have Alessi be the one to argue this today, because she's already looking to boot Alan Jackson. He's already in her crosshairs. And Alessi, being as thorough as he is, he's the closest thing to neutral because he wasn't there. He wasn't there.
And I will.
He can only go by facts. He only had the details. He only had the data to make his argument with. What better material and evidence is there than the actual evidence, the receipts, the data of the emails, of everything, and have someone who wasn't even there present them and go, this is clear as day to me.
I agree with you, and your instincts are always right on this stuff. But I also want to say one other part about Brennan, and I'm going to answer Kay, the geeky geek, which, by the way, we got a new term today from Alessi. I think he said, I don't want to be too tech geeky or techie geeky. So I got to find that in the stream, but it was amazing. But before I hit Kay, the geeky geeks question, I want to just mention, and I'm going to disclaim this by saying the following. I'm not sure I sensed it correctly, but this was my sense. When Brennan doubled down and he made these arguments at the end, and he did not make any concessions other than the one thing he said, when I realized, I said, I got it from the feds and it was really the defense. When he doubled down through that argument, it was one of my takeaways that he was actually going for Yannetti and Little as well. So when I say going for them, like, I think he has it out for AJ. I think he was very softly implying that Yannetti should have had better watch on him. And Little, he made some intimations about her as well. So if that is what he was attempting to do, that's absolute bullshit. I don't know how to say it in any way, shape, or form other than that. Like, that's dirty. Like, what's the saying?
It's totally dirty. Now, we could end the stream, this whole conversation with this next point, but we're not going to, obviously. But with this next point, the fact is all this does, this whole thing right now, it's very distracting because it's a lot of shit to have to process, a lot of details to have to process. But at the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at it from an aerial point of view, it just falls under Hank Brennan's MO. What has he consistently been doing? What has been his strategy since he took on this case? It has been to try to knock out Karen Reed's defense.
Yep.
That's what he's been trying to do. This is just another method of him trying to do that.
That is why Meatball brought in a criminal defense attorney.
Exactly.
Special prosecutor.
And a high-profile one.
A high-profile one, and all the fuck around and find outers out there who were like celebrating I made a little swipe at one of them today, which made me laugh while doing it. But the point is, hey, Will,
you never did get to it, did you?
Let me answer Kay real quick. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Can Brennan be disbarred for his conduct? Seems like his actions are just stupidity, thinking he can derail the defense. So I have to be very careful when I say this about another lawyer. But yes, the answer is yes. If there is a proven findings by the bar, meaning the administrative agency in any state, that there have been serious violations of rules of professional conduct. In this case, it's Rule 3.3 in Massachusetts. If the bar up there feels that those were significantly material and knowingly false representations or misrepresentations, the answer is yes. Happens very frequently. So he could be.
Wow. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. Thank you.
We work real hard for our law licenses. And I have to say, like, I'm really insulted that a fellow brother of the bar, whether it's my bar or another bar, treats that like a shitty piece of paper. Like, I'm sorry. You
You're
know,
all
I may
sworn to act
show
in
up
the interest of justice. You're
I
all
may show
sworn to
up
do that.
I may show up with a funny t-shirt or a hat or curse a lot, but there's one thing that I take very seriously, and that's my law license and the manner in which I comport myself ethically as a lawyer. So if you want to undermine that, we're going to go to blows with each other. Like I actually said in your chat today, I'm like, that's it. I'm fucking coming up there because I was so angry that another member of the bar, not my bar, but the overall bar did that. So it's not over. By the way, disbarment it's another pathway. That stuff can happen. And the bar is watching.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be. Like what we're seeing, and the reason why there's such an audience for this is for that reason. We're all amazed at the fact that this is happening right in front of our face, and it's so brazen.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I feel gaslit.
Totally.
You know? And don't you just say, like, how many times is there going to be disparate treatment or misstatements of truth or the inability to produce timely, reliable evidence with metadata if needed? And it is needed in this case, despite her rulings yesterday. So like how many times? I understand when Karen said in her interview, her more recent clip of Ted Daniel interview, you know, she was like, every day it's a new thing. Like I'm spending hours and hours a day trying to dig into some of these things. So I don't know how she's doing it. And that's why I always say her team is tremendous and they're working so hard on all of these issues all at once. Think of it like either juggling or cooking a bunch of things on the stove at the same time.
Plate spinning act, like
yes,
crazy. I mean, you know, like I used to compare that to managing, you know, a bar or restaurant, you know, but you know, that doesn't even compare to how accurate that analogy is, because just saying the wrong thing, the plate could go flying. And you know, like just saying the wrong thing, the saying the right thing the wrong way could fuck everything up.
I agree. And the substance of what Brennan presented last week and today, which have been, my opinion, provably false or proven to be false, is so serious. The fact that the judge didn't put him, you know, push Brennan back and say, I want to know why you made these really reckless statements to me. I'm going to give you a very good time.
It's surreal that that's not happening, because I've never seen a case where a judge would put up with that. You know, I've never seen
my
that.
Jurisdictions. Like
think about the high profile cases. The judge in the Darrell Brooks case.
Yeah.
There's no way she would have put up with that. She put up with this woman she deserves a sainthood.
She does,
for how she handled that case. I mean, this man made a complete circus out of her courtroom for months. And I mean, I covered it. I was just like, oh my God, this poor woman. I was like, man, I said it so many times. I was like, I hope this woman has a husband at home who is going to just totally just like rub her, give her a bath and run a hot bath for her, give her the best night of loving that she ever had in her life every single night. She absolutely deserves to be absolutely pampered after the day in front of the world.
Yeah,
that she had to put up with day after day after day after day.
I mean, Darrell Brooks rode her like Seabiscuit. I don't know how she handled that. I really
And there's no way, there's nothing about her character that indicates to me that she would ever put up with these antics from Hank Brennan or even Adam
Never.
Lally in pretrial 1.0.
Never. She would never do that. And it's always giving an ear to the prosecution and being annoyed by the defense. Like, it is rhythmic. The musical undertones in this whole case are really notable to me, but it's just so predictable and really offensive. And I'm calling balls and strikes just like she's supposed to, except I'm doing it properly. So anyway, I don't.
That was just a comment. Yeah, that
thanks,
wasn't a
Amy.
question. It was a comment. Still felt anti-Bev. So okay, thank you so much, AJ.
So did I, AJ Charles.
Yeah. And let's see. Presentation 101. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you've told them. Yeah. I feel like that's accurate. That should be exactly, and that's what Alessi was doing today.
It's
And
a
Bernie, thank you so much.
fundamental strategy of debate. They actually teach you that in law school.
Okay, I don't know what this. And Sander, thank you so much. Please tag Pam Bondi, U.S. Attorney General, and Kash Patel, head of the FBI, Norfolk County Mass Corruption. There's nothing left to do because Bev is in the bag for the district attorney, in your opinion. Yeah, see, I don't know what's going on. All I know is Bev is not acting in the interest of justice, and she is not making, she's not making decisions in the interest of justice. And she seems to be not only letting Hank Brennan get away with things, but she seems to be holding his hand and presenting cases for him. Even in her argument,
right,
in that filing yesterday, there was something that I noticed, and I can't think of it right now, but it was really weird that she put forth that argument and not Brennan in his.
Yes.
So it's like she argued it for him when she denied the defense's motion. It was really bizarre.
And it happens all the time with her, where she's kind of spoon feeding suggestions,
right?
And that's not supposed to happen. It's also an indicator of bias. Like, come on. She was doing it with objections during 1.0. Mr. Lally, are you going to object to that? By the way, I have to just make one comment. I didn't see him today, but I'm assuming Lally was there. And with that said, I would have expected Bev to ask questions of Lally on some of the issues that popped up during the argument today.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that didn't happen, right?
Yeah, like she should have. They were all kind of bickering about things that were known or said or exchanged in March of 2024, back when Brennan, whatever, Spanky Hank was
He really seemingly, you're making a great point. He really seemingly moused his little ass out of that today, didn't he? Like, because I mean, he was there. Why was he so fucking quiet? Not even existent. Nobody even mentioned Lally today.
Yeah. And if you think of it this way, the judge's role on this issue is to get to the truth of what happened, what was known when, etc. And one of the key arguments, which I know came out from Alessi, but also should be hammered home by all of you in your social media, or if you're talking to others, what Brennan is making a big stink about is anything he can cross-examine Wolf and Rentschler on. He can put Wolf and Rentschler on the stand and say, tell me you were paid. What did you receive? Were you billed?
He's acting like he forgot how to be a lawyer.
Right.
It's really weird.
He was absent the day they taught law in law school. Right. I'm telling you, Will, he's a fucking idiot. In my opinion.
But I mean, I feel like what makes him an idiot is the fact that he thinks that nobody can see this, but maybe he's not an idiot in the sense that he knows that he can get away with this shit with Bev. Yeah. He's doing it because he can, and he knows he can because there's some sort of agreement with Bev.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I feel like he has been.
But we can't outright accuse him of that, right?
Right. And he's been enabled. Like, he's getting away with it. He probably is getting away with this behavior, which is unprofessional, more as a prosecutor than he has ever as a defense attorney. Like, he he's enjoying swimming in the nice warm waters of Judge Bev's courtroom in this case. Like
He
she's
really is.
just like Lally did. But as
And
far
he took off his shorts, bro. Like he's chilling. Like it's all good. Like he owns the pond, or like he owns
Yeah.
the hot tub.
I need
Like
to, I need to
you guys don't
vomit.
mind, do I? I gotta
I
let
don't-
my boys breathe.
God.
Like, what, dude?
Yeah,
you
I
serious?
agree. He's getting himself really cozy, and I do think, and just to punctuate the Lally issue, Lally had firsthand knowledge and firsthand involvement in what was done with those ARCA experts in not only the trial, which was April to July of 2024, but the pretrial period where all this shit blew up. So he would have known a lot of what went down. And for him to sit there, and I want to be honest, I didn't see him. I'm assuming he was there because I thought I heard someone say it, but I was really kind of focused on your chat and other things. But for him to sit there and not even offer, I'm talking about Lally, offer anything in addition to this one way
It's
or
weird,
the
right?
other, or the judge to query him, it's sus. I keep going back to
Yeah,
it.
like why didn't Bev be like, Mr. Lally, you're awfully quiet over there. Is there anything you'd like to add as to the dates in question?
And
Like-
trust me, Judge Bev, with all respect, oh, you're gonna hear my dog bark for a minute, so I apologize. But with all due respect to Judge Bev, it was my sense you really enjoyed Dr. Wolf's presence, so I don't think you're gonna bar them.
Yeah, I mean, Judge Bev was just like,
Yeah,
straight
she was,
up.
was dreamy.
Totally.
What do you got
Live,
there?
laugh.
Live, laugh, toaster. That's
Would AJ not be able to represent her at federal next week if Bev yeets him? Well, AJ isn't. The person representing is Weinberg in the federal thing. So
and no, they are they're two separate.
well, okay, yeah.
You're right though, Will. I want to be very clear. Like
He's the one arguing it, but Jackson is still representing her technically. He's
I think he could
with
still
the SJC.
represent her in a different jurisdiction. It's a different federal court. So
Yeah.
I think it would be okay, but you'd have to ask a constitutional lawyer that question. I don't think she's going to yeet him though. If she yeets him, there needs to be an uproar here because Karen has constitutional rights to attorney of her choice, and
an uproar within the boundaries of the law, my friends.
within the boundaries of
Yes.
the law, no
Yes.
criminal activities.
Exercise your First Amendment rights by all means, but within the boundaries of the law.
Yes, this is not a call to arms. I'm still learning the ropes.
It's okay.
But I do think that people should be upset about if she eats him. I don't think she's going to. I don't. So I'm not like, look, I don't love her rulings, but one thing we can all agree is that, and you saw this sometimes with questions asked by the SJC of Weinberg, like sometimes judges will ask questions of both sides, although this was to one of the sides primarily, where you think, oh my God, this sounds really bad. Like she's asking bad questions. It's trending where I'm starting to get anxious. Sometimes a judge does that, and they do it for a few reasons, just to make the attorney squirm a little bit or to really probe how bad the situation is. There's 100 different reasons why judges ask really poignant questions, which can bother or shock the conscience of those watching. I don't think she's going to yeet him. I
okay. Let me say something real quick. I never thought I'd ever say this ever in my life, but it's more important to me to cover all of your questions than to get money. So I'm actually going to ask you guys just for a few minutes at least to slow down the super chats, okay? So that everyone has a chance, because Nan, she can't be here all night. She has mommy and wifey duties, and I'm not trying to be here all night, and I'd like to wrap this up before Aiden starts his stream at 9. because I'm really interested to hear what he has to say about what happened today. So I never thought I'd say this, but please slow down the super chats. I'm really grateful for them. I really, truly am. But I really want to get to everybody's questions if I possibly can.
Can I
You guys are the
paraphrase
best.
that for you, Will? Please,
Sure.
please, attention, audience. Please stop sending Will money. Please stop sending Will money temporarily.
Like, yes.
I'll try to give. How about this, guys? I'll try to give you guys faster answers to your questions, so you feel like we're tearing through it a little faster for you. And then if there's time, I can elaborate more if you want. I don't know.
I mean, to quote Ricky Bobby, love that money. Don't get me wrong. Big fan, but it's much more important to me, honestly, that you guys get your questions read and answered.
So on Live Laugh Toaster Bath, which is in my running for handle of the day, I'm liking that. But anyway, I would say
she's won handle of the day here before. Yes, let's
you?
give it to her one more time.
That's oh. I do think that I think she's not even going to yeet Alan, and I
don't think so either.
It's a separate. It's a federal jurisdiction, and I think Alan could represent her there. But also, if she eats Alan, there is, in my view, an immediate federal cause of action that can be filed on Karen's behalf, because that violates her constitutional right to counsel of her choice. So
this whole prosecution, this whole thing is a violation of everyone's rights in a way.
Agreed.
Not just Karen Reed's, but everyone's. Everyone should be pissed about this, because your tax dollars are being wasted, you locals in Massachusetts, and this could happen to any of you. And you, all the public, have a right for one of your peers to be tried fairly. You
agree.
have that right.
And it could be you. I mean, not you, not you, Will,
right.
but it could be you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Could
So,
be.
all right, let's go, guys. With speed round.
I accidentally hit so I have to scroll way back up. But go ahead and read that one. Would AJ not be able to oh, we already read that. Okay, and I got there just in time. Okay, so Lori Hamilton's the next one.
Knowing
the defense will
you go, Will. Sorry.
Nan, knowing the defense will appeal if she tries to boot AJ. Do you think Bev will try? She seems hell-bent to start on April 1st. Wouldn't that decision render the start date impossible?
Yes, I do. So I don't think she's going to boot him.
I don't think so either.
And I think if she does, which I believe is a mistake, because I heard enough facts and controverted facts today to say there's not enough for her to yank his pro hoc vice card, so to speak. And if she does, he does have an appeal that Karen doesn't have to, but she could file an appeal of that decision for violation of her constitutional rights to counsel of her choice. And I am going on record, and I went on record last week saying this. I do not see April 1st as a realistic start date for this trial. I just don't. And not only because of this pending issue, but because of what I understand to be more of a conference on the habeas application, the federal application. So nothing's going to be decided in the petition for writ of habeas corpus on March 5th. It's more of like a preliminary conference. That probably won't be decided before April 1st anyway. So I don't see it as a realistic trial date.
Yeah, it seems, like they're really, and Brennan's doing a great job of wasting a lot of time too.
Yeah.
So
including my own. He wastes my time.
Big one here. Nola CPA, thank you so much. The Glare, treat yourself to something nice. And Nan, poor boys, our signature sandwiches, po' boys, actually, po' boys, our signature sandwiches in New Orleans. Try wine next time when you visit the Big Easy. I
know you, Jamie. You and I have
been.
Well, you and I have been corresponding. Everyone notice Jamie's initials after her name. She is an accountant, and
Okay.
we're doing some collaboration on some things that might be of value to Free Karen readers. So if I've missed any response back from you, Jamie, I've been a little busy today, but there's some financial pieces to this as well. And I'm really hungry and would love a po' boy right now.
Po' boys are good, bro. Let's see. Abacus Flinch, thank you so much. What gets me is that Bev denied defense's motion to compel Commonwealth for the Sallyport vid, yet she's going to compel the defense to provide ARCA comms and punish them for violations for comparatively minor things. How's that fair? Yeah, great point. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with you on that one, Abacus.
Yeah, it's not fair, Abacus. I don't. As Melanie Little says, like, this is Narnia. It's like upside down. This is not fair. You bring up a great point here. And for her to throw such a hissy fit over what transpired last week and not over inverted videos or anything being produced during trial 1.0 is ridiculous to me. And I have to say, her 3 explanations, which I don't remember them all, that she gave this morning, she had to spend 11 minutes on explaining why she punted last week's hearing to this week and wasted taxpayer dollars, wasted Karen's funds to have to pay for, the costs at a minimum, the costs of attorneys to have to come back for this hearing. 11 minutes of her time was spent giving 3 reasons why she did that. They were all stupid reasons.
Right.
Like, look,
and the fact is, we gotta credit Aiden Turtle Boy, because he said on the Howie Carr show just yesterday, Howie Carr says, "You think she'll get up there and like apologize and take some responsibility and accountability for throwing this fit last week?" And Turtle Boy's like, "No." He started laughing. Everybody laughed when because Howie laughed too. Like, but the fact is Aiden goes, "No, what she'll do is she'll give a whole bunch of justifications for it and give these whole new theatrics to try to act like, she's justified in doing so, and give all these bullshit reasons." And then sure enough, that's what she did. I wanted to give the defense enough time. And then I love how Alessi was like, she goes, "Well, how long did it take you to put together this notebook?" He's like, "About a day and a half." Like a day and a half ago, Your Honor. And then, so basically, in so many words, he's telling her, "Yeah, we didn't need a week. We could have just argued this. Like, this is bullshit."
By the way, I would love to have seen that notebook. Like what Alessi put together just looked like, it looked magical to me with all the tabs. And at one point, as someone who really gravitates towards office supplies, he had me at, like, he was flipping back and forth, and I was loving every minute.
The man had tabs.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had this dude. Like, and then Brennan gets up there and he's like, she's like, "What are you looking at?" And he's like, I'm looking for it right now, Your Honor. I'll have that for you in just a moment. Like, totally, like, "Yo, where's your notebook, homie?
I gotta meet him when he comes back down to New York after all is said and done in this matter. I'm gonna track him down in Manhattan and I'm gonna say, "I'm bringing you out for lunch," because I just want to talk to him about his mind. It fascinates me.
Dude,
he's gonna be a great ad.
He's a machine. He's like a legal Terminator. I love him.
Which, by the way, I just shook my desk. I apologize if everyone gets dizzy looking at that.
Oh, I'm the worst at that.
Yeah, it's awful. But I will tell you though, like, I'm not a legal machine. That's why when I say her team has such a really dynamic skill set, and then hopefully bringing Betterow on as well for his additions, a little bit of, I can tell a little bit about him just in the manner in which he has presented thus far during interviews and podcasts and streams and tweets, etc. But, some attorneys are good at one thing, others are good at others. You know, I'm a good writer and I'm a good arguer, but don't make me put together a fucking notebook. Like, no, it's not happening. I love it, but I'm not putting together a fucking notebook. But anyway, I digress. What do we got here? Well, gray space. Okay.
Brennan loves to wildly accuse defense counsel, including Attorney Betterow, of impropriety with zero evidence. How can they get him to stop?
Oh, man.
That's a good question, too.
Well, hey, gray space, which if I recall, I thought you might be in the have a psychological background, but I think you're in aerospace. I forget but anyway, given my really bad memory about what your background is, the only way to make it stop is for me to tuck you into bed, give you a nice warm glass of milk, tell you a sweet bedtime story, and tell you that monsters aren't really real and everything's going to be okay tomorrow. And that's it. Like, it's just not going to go away. So there's these evil truths in the world and enemies and monsters, and I can't make them go away or make it stop. She is clearly showing disparity in treatment, and it's awful to watch.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. Mana, thank you so much. Bottom line, Bev ain't getting no AJ since he's been in town. She loves some steak. I don't know what the fuck that means, but thank you so much. San Fran, Nan, did you think Hank is trying to discredit the defense to get ahead of the motion to dismiss for gross prosecutorial conduct? Love you, Will. Love you too, San Fran.
I do, San Fran. I not only think that Hank is trying to get ahead of we call them MTDs in my office, the motion to dismiss. I think he's doing that. That's why he also doubled down today instead of just falling on the sword and apologizing for being a complete asswipe. But in addition to that, I think, this is my opinion, after 25 years of dealing with federal agencies, including,
is that all?
Yeah, only 25. Federal criminal agencies, that he's also trying with all of this BS and what was announced yesterday. And no shade on Ted Daniel. I respect him from afar very much, but I question his sources information.
I agree.
Him, okay?
I agree.
And I hope
I believe that source was fed.
Yeah, I think there was feeding.
I believe that was designed to leak to Ted Daniel because Ted Daniel had just gained so much credibility with the Free Karen Reed movement with his interview.
There are no coincidences.
We're not stupid. I see you.
Yeah,
I see you, Canton PD and MSP. I see you, motherfuckers.
There's no coincidences here. It's all, in my opinion, and I will admit when I'm wrong, but the feds don't announce, from my experience, when they close cases. They just don't.
No.
Now, that is my experience. Now, I did hear, or I saw a tweet from Peter Tragos, the lawyer you know, whose father was a federal prosecutor. I saw one little tweet that said, hey, my dad says they normally don't announce these things, but unless there's rare circumstances. And I'm paraphrasing it, and I don't know if he's posted on this or had a stream. But what I will say is, from my experience with federal criminal agencies, not just the FBI, but the Department of Justice, various criminal fraud prosecuting federal agencies, they don't tell you when they're done with you. And they can also reopen cases very quickly. It's all designed, in my opinion, to take away from this motion to dismiss. What do you got there? Forensic gator expert. Okay. Brennan is the punchline for every joke about lawyers from those who hate attorneys. Yeah. Yep. And I find that really bothersome to me. Like, I don't know. What's the joke? Like, what's one lawyer at the bottom of the ocean? A good start. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
That's why I pride myself. I'm not perfect. I'm annoying to people, I'm sure, but
the only lawyers I like are the ones who hate other lawyers.
Most people tell me I'm not like a typical lawyer. Like, they say, "Oh, you're actually easier to talk to."
No, yeah.
Not a jerk.
In this case, It's the craziest thing. I went from hating lawyers to lawyers, a bunch of lawyers actually becoming some of my favorite people, which I never thought would ever happen.
It's interesting,
but
and you understand. You're starting to really understand their strategies. It's fun to watch.
Well, because what's more noble and what's more, important of a role to be a defense lawyer who's actually defending somebody who is innocent. There's something extremely noble about that. That's the kind of case. This is the kind of case that a defense attorney, that an ethical and a lover of the law type of defense attorney fantasized about winning and having and taking on when they were kids, fantasizing about being lawyers. You know what I mean? Like, this is that kind of case. And so this is why Alan Jackson's not taking any payments right now. This is why David Yanetti's not taking any payments right now. This is why Elizabeth Little's not. This is why Robert Alessi's not. This is why Weinberg's not. This is amazing. This is a beautiful thing to witness. This is what our forefathers had in mind when it comes to defense.
And it's personal for them now,
Right.
like I really feel like and we lawyers, not on all cases, but on some cases, we really soak it in. And I mean, I can only speak for me, but I've heard it from some other lawyers where, you take these cases on, and while you keep your boundaries, it's not hard to try to feel like you feel what your client is going through, and you show empathy to them. And I think this has become very personal. And if it hasn't been already obvious to your audience, it is to me now today. Alessi is now taking it personally because he was fired up, not just in his argument, but in
his rebuttal. When he came back up, man, he was just like, you could tell he was, it's happening in front of his daughter. Now, I don't know if that had any effect on him emotionally at all, but I would imagine and give him plenty of grace that it might.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I've argued in front of my kids who are not, like his daughter obviously is a grown woman. I've taken my kids to court with me, and it's very nerve-wracking. And the judges have gone easy on me when they know I've only taken my kids to motions I think I'm going to win, because I don't want my kids to think I'm a fucking loser. But anyway, when I take my kids to court, on Take Your Kids to Work Day, like they're watching not only to see if you win, but they're watching to see how you argue, how you comport yourself. So I'm sure he was very mindful that his daughter was there. And I will tell you, if she didn't have this takeaway, I'd be shocked. Like, she's got to be really fucking proud of him, because that was amazing magic that he whipped together and presented to the court on really complex issues.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for you. And I was thinking about this when he was first like really getting going, and you could tell that Bev, like I could predict Bev getting annoyed before she started to check him on stupid little things, right? Because we've just been watching it for so long. So, do you think that the way that he does this a lot and points fingers, do you think that is careless on his part, something he's overlooking that maybe Bev might take personally in a subconscious way? Yes. Because his hand gestures seem very, because he puts you in a corner where he's like, before you can even argue, I'm already giving you an argument against your argument. So you won't have to ask me a question and I can move on to my next point. And he's doing it like, so do those hand gestures, do you think Bev might find those intimidating?
I do. I think, by the way, I do, as I said on another stream, I think he has a musical background. I think it's very conductor-like the way he does it. But also when you tie that to the manner in which he argues, where he says, I'm going to lead you here, then I'm going to bring you here, then I'll explain here, and I'll tie it all together. Which I find masterful. I think it is possible that it is annoying Judge Bev. However, why would that annoy Judge Bev when she had to deal with the cheesy sandwich eating, ripping butt guy, Lally, and then Brennan, who is just, I'm sorry, he's an idiot. I don't know how they don't annoy her, but AJ, even Yannetti, and now Alessi seem to annoy her. And then Ms. Little, I won't say that Judge Bev is being super pleasant to her because
Let me
she's
tell you
not.
something. Alan Jackson smells like breath mints and
Ooh.
excellence. Okay?
I want
That's what
that.
Alan Jackson smells like. Lally is ripping butts, bro. Like worse than me on live streams, like just going at it, dude. Coming back into the courtroom smelling like fucking LA looks and fucking
Dippity do.
and fucking whatever the basic cigarettes.
Yeah, I
Like,
think he smells like Dippity do. And by the way, if anyone in the audience is old enough to remember Dippity do, please let me know. But yeah, I agree, Will. Like they're so
what the
annoying.
fuck? Right.
Look, I think Alessi is not only, it's my feeling, and it kind of echoes yours. I think he's annoying her. But I think it's also because he's pro bono, not pro bono, pro hoc vice. He's not from the jurisdiction. And I think that she is exhibiting a very clear disdain for those who did not grow up in the ranks of the Massachusetts bar. Even you can look back to when the jury questionnaire, or not the questionnaire, the jury charges and jury verdict sheets were presented, and Alan Jackson was arguing them to Judge Bev, and he's like, I don't really care what your honor thinks. AJ's like, I want it to be done right, and we need not guilty boxes here. And she says, this is the way it's always done. And he's going at her.
Isn't that right, Mr. Yannetti?
Isn't that right? And he's like, well, actually, no. Well, she says, haven't you seen that, Mr. Yannetti? And see, look, I get near my microphone.
No, Your Honor.
He's like, no, I've never seen that shit, Your Honor, but go ahead. But she was looking at him as like,
great.
She's looking at him like the Massachusetts like stabilizer in that conversation. And Yannetti's said in a nicer way, no, you're fucking full of shit. So I really don't know if there's this piece to them being outsiders that's bothering her. Something's bothering her, and it's giving female jurists a bad name.
Jurists.
Yeah, jurists.
Well, it's just weird that she's putting up with all this crazy, what clearly misconduct, like coming from the prosecution, like it's since like for the past 3 years, like they've danced around not sharing discovery forever, and then just busts out new shit, like new video, in the middle of the trial. Like, what are you doing? And Bev is just like, whatever. She even laughed about it in one hearing.
She even laughed about it, and I know you've got a bunch of super chats, but I did want to also mention, like, because some rulings came down yesterday. Just so everyone's clear, like she's not forcing the prosecution to hand over metadata, which, by the way, like may or may not exist, and certainly won't exist in the click and drag modality. But with all of that said, like, she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand that this is a case where there's been so much chicanery. Sorry to sound like Alessi, like
think
with
she
a big
does
word.
understand.
I don't know.
Understand.
I
think she knows exactly what she's doing. I think she's just fucking just pissing in the wind and saying fuck it. But there's some reason, but it's clear that she's holding the prosecution's hand through all of this. That's my point. She's clearly there's like it's beyond just like negligence, because she'd be doing that with both sides. I mean, the fact that Fanning was in charge of that jury and she let that happen, knowing that he was a witness in the case, knowing he was one of the investigators. We know now what happened with Fanning with the Sandra Birchmore case, and he was in charge of that jury. That changes everything for me. Knowing that for sure now.
Yeah,
that changes everything. So Judge Bev knew this, and also block the jury from knowing that the FBI were the ones that hired the ARCA experts.
Yep.
That the jury had a right to know that. Karen Reed had a right for the jury to know that. That is exculpatory evidence. That is the epitome of it, in my opinion.
Yep.
How can, I mean, it's the truth. It's not like she's using something to prejudice the jury. So what if it prejudices the jury? She has the right to prejudice the jury with that because it's a fact. It's the truth.
Yeah, we all want to get, it's not just we, but we all want to get to the truth. Even the honorable prosecutors out there understand it's about presenting all of the pieces within rules of evidence. And like I was saying on your show on Saturday, like there's rules that say you don't bring things in if the prejudice is, real problematic. And, but you can't confuse or mislead a jury. And right now, every single thing that has happened that recently that we've been talking about are all pieces of a puzzle that all point to her, meaning Karen, not getting an accurate and fair picture presented to her next jury. Like, I really need, I need to see a more balanced ruling come out of this court. Like, I'm very, very disheartened as a lawyer right now to see this imbalance is unusual. And I will, as from my observation, most attorneys, if not all, who are speaking about this, even the ones who are not so partial, I'm very partial, they are all saying this, like, this is unusual. So let's hope. All right, what do we got? Sydney, Nan, if Bev excludes ARCA, what is the defense path moving forward in trial? So, I have never understood how ARCA can get excluded in this. Like, ARCA prepared its report before, it had no relation to the defense whatsoever. Its decisions were impartial and unrelated. So I don't foresee them getting barred. But let's assume they get barred. The path moving forward, in my opinion, would be that the defense needs to immediately make an application in the interest of justice for additional time to procure an additional crash reconstructionist biomechanics expert. It is completely and patently unfair for a judge to say, we're going to take away your impartial third-party expert and leave you expertless on this subject. 6 weeks or 5 weeks before trial, whatever the math is. So they will make an application, I know I would, to fill that void. And they need one because it's my understanding that the Commonwealth has one now, someone better than Trooper Paul's pirouette.
Yeah, see, Brennan's strategy here, in my opinion, is to get Jackson booted while excluding the ARCA experts, which is, as Karen put it, 95% of her case. So
isn't it really bothersome that the prosecution is spending all this time just striking attorneys, evidence, experts, but meanwhile holding on to key evidentiary pieces like producing.
And what it screams above all else is that they don't have a case against Karen.
Yes. Yeah. They sing that from the hilltops because if you really had the law and the facts on your side, and I'm talking about on all three charges, okay?
That's what you would present.
If you don't have the law and the facts on your side, then you resort as a lawyer, not me, I wouldn't do it, but an unethical or a dishonorable one would resort to a street fight. Like this is it's not even just shenanigans. It's dirty play right now. So it's a dirty, I'm going to say this, my opinion.
It's dirt in the eyes. Yeah, it's dirt in the eyes and nut kicking, dude, is what's going on here. And it sucks.
Yes, the nut kicking needs to stop.
Right. Now, Decline says, Nan, in your professional opinion, does Bev have any legal grounds to get rid of Alan Jackson? Can it be appealed if she does? I don't know how Commonwealth can get away with what they do. Yes, I mean, we basically kind of been saying this and talking about it, but
Yeah, we kind of answered the fact that there can be an appeal if she strikes him. And then as far as legal grounds, if it can be proven that Alan Jackson knowingly misrepresented to the court substantive information that he had, substantive preparatory dealings with ARCA leading up to trial 1.0 in violation of either the federal protective order or the Judge Bev's ruling that she kind of wanted them to stay as remote and separated as possible, she could remove his pro hoc vice admission status. I think that's a nuclear option, and even though I'm partial, did not hear enough today to make someone like me feel that Brennan met all of the criteria to do that. Alessi, at an absolute minimum, mitigated any of those arguments. So let's see. If she punts AJ out of Massachusetts, I'm going to be really pissed off, and I will become Lawferio.
you won't be the only one. You won't be the only one. A lot of people are going to be very upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robin G, member for 10 months. Thank you. Have you ever heard of a judge asking a prosecutor if they have an objection like Bev did with Lally? Like, yeah, like giving her giving him a window, like, hey, you going to object? Come on.
No, no, only a handful of times I've had a judge step in the place of the other lawyer. So I've had a judge.
What?
It's very hard to explain, but in essence, where the other side didn't object and the judge said, well, wait, let me change your question a little bit. And, I felt that was improper, but I wasn't going to say anything. I've never had a judge ask a prosecutor that. That's a real problem. But, that was, I only think that happened once in this trial. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, clearly she was, when I started on my streams with Mike from the Young Jerks, and hi, Mike, if you're watching, like I said to him, I want to see the stats of how many times she sustains the prosecution's objections versus overruling them, because the statistics, at least visually to me, seem so unfair.
Yeah, there seems to be quite the ratio.
Yeah.
Michelle Monaghan, thank you so much. If Brennan's behavior continues during the trial and is overlooked again, is that what makes me so angry and so frightened at the same time? Hank Brennan knows how to be dirty.
Oh, you guys are going to hate him at trial.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be.
Enough was presented today. Just so we're all clear, enough was presented today for Brennan to be removed as the special prosecutor. So I don't think we touched on that, and I'll say it and I'll step off of it. But there was enough proven allegations today, as set forth by Alessi, of improprieties on the part of Brennan, for me to say that it would be well within Judge Bev's discretion to remove him as the special prosecutor. So as we all sit here and say, oh my God, is she going to remove AJ? The alleged infractions of AJ, which I find to be inconsequential and frankly false, versus the severe ethical concerns of the new special prosecutor. Like, I think he, meaning Brennan, should have been more worried today than AJ might have been about being removed from the case.
Yeah. I mean, Alessi put forth just an airtight argument. Like, this dude just sat up here and lied, and he twisted things. Glamour Suze says Alan is admitted pro hoc vice next Tuesday morning. All hell will break loose if Bev's boots smooth as butter.
Thanks, Glamour Suze. I agree with you. Within the bounds of the law.
Right. Mama Carter, thank you. I'm just worried because the damage is done. Prospective jurors saw the defense called out and not able to respond immediately. No cure for it. I mean, as much as it's a disadvantage that it's a new trial, it's also an advantage. Like, keep in mind, we've got to get through this pre-trial, okay? But once this goes to trial, remember the prosecution has no case.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen inevitably is that they'll fail to present one, and that's why Brennan is so desperate to try to cut their defense, because their defense is overwhelmingly more substantial than the prosecution's case against Karen Reed. So I'm not that worried about it. I'm more worried about what's going on right now.
If I could just add to that briefly, Will,
Please.
I agree with everything you just said, and I agree with Mama Carter here. But there's one other piece to this that I always want audiences of the streams that I'm a big fan of to remember. Prospective jurors, although it's not our intended goal, prospective jurors are also influenced by YouTube and messaging, getting the message out there, standouts, making our and your opinions heard. So there's a lot of different factors that can play a role in influencing prospective jurors, not just mainstream media. I mean, I don't know what's being reported up there. I did hear, Will, that you had said, was it News 5 or one of the news outfits was already kind of putting a spin on this. There's ways to counterbalance that narrative. And I can't encourage all of those who are up there and present in the community enough to just continue the messaging in a constitutionally adequate and legally secure manner, to just keep getting the word out there, because there's ways to influence prospective jurors. That doesn't mean that they won't become jurors. Jurors have to be able, even if they know about the case, they just have to be able to come in and to truthfully say they can be impartial. So there's time, and everyone keep up the good work. It's okay to try to influence the narrative up there.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of doing what we're doing is to create awareness. Now, my mind isn't so much on a jury, but it is more on the mind of getting people more aware and more support for Karen. And it's working. We're all doing so much. And I've never been more proud to be a part of something so important, because the public deserves to know the truth, and the public deserves to educate themselves, have the freedom to do that, and each other on the truth, meaning as well, Turtle Boy has the right to tell people the truth and investigate. He has the right to inquire and report the truth.
I agree. And on that point, Turtle Boy is, you're 100% right. And Turtle Boy's reporting is what got me here. And I'm not self-congratulating, but I want to thank him personally for doing that, for just being brave and not being afraid to stand up and to ask the right questions. That's how my brain works. So I gravitate to that, just like I gravitate to you, Will, and other content creators. Like, it's okay to stand up and ask those questions, and that makes people courageous soldiers. So thank you. It's just a special thank you to Aiden for doing that, because I'm very much, I feel validated in trying to help educate the community here from a legal perspective.
Yeah, and you're doing great. Like I said, I mean, we've been on the same page since we've been in communication about this case, and in real time today too. And you sharing that screenshot of the rules of conduct. That was really, really helpful. And it was just great that Alessi referenced it. The very same thing, the exact same thing, referenced it right after when we came back from lunch. It was very, very cool.
You were like, what the? Yeah, no, I always try to help if I can. So I'm glad.
Thank you, Calypso 39. Thoughts on Alessi's style and likability versus Michael Jackson?
Is it Michael? Are you referring to MJ or did you mean AJ? But anyway, yeah. Okay. Well, if we're gonna say Michael Jackson, like I'm a Gen X.
I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson too. I mean,
I am. By the way, like if
not many you could put him up against that I'm not gonna be like Mike's got it all the way.
But anyway, if I come up to well, it's when I come up and if I have an opportunity to stand with boots on the ground or to attend any events, I do a mean moonwalk. So watch the fuck out. Okay.
Okay.
Without vodka, by the way. But I think Alessi has a great style. I gravitate towards it very much.
I love it. Let's see what else. And Nina, thank you, Nina Dog. Kayla Jones, thank you so much. Nan, what is your stance and views if people sent professional complaints to the Commission of Judicial Conduct in Massachusetts? Would it make a difference if enough people sent the complaints? Love you both. We love you too, Kayla Jones.
I ethically cannot answer that one. But I will say this, Kayla Jones, you dropped $10. So I will simply I'll answer a different question that anyone might want because your question should be featured here. It's my feeling that I'm going to predict that Judge Bev is going to issue a ruling on all the crap that happened today by Monday of next week. And I think it could either be, dispose of this altogether and everyone moves forward, or she's going to have require some type of evidentiary hearing where she calls in ARCA to ask them a few questions. So I'm not saying that would happen on Monday or Tuesday of next week, but I think, I can't answer the question you've asked, so I'm trying to answer a different one for you. I know the answer to your question. I'm just not allowed to say it.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel you. Thank you for that. RB, thank you so much. Hank actively represents the Bulgers. Morrissey and Billy Bulger go way back, probably Whitey too. So why was hashtag placed on this case? What are Morrissey and the Bulgers trying to bury? What do the Bulgers have anything to do with the Karen Reed case, though? Is my question.
Yeah, so I will preface this by saying I don't know much about all of the intricacies of what the Bulgers entrenchment up there and all of the history of it. I know enough to know that it's my opinion that Brennan was picked for this special prosecutor position because he's a dirty mob lawyer. That's my opinion. And also
he's a dirty mob lawyer. I mean, it is what it is.
And he's a defense lawyer. And I think Morrissey felt that this case has no substance legally and Karen Reed is factually innocent. And the only way you're going to win, allegedly, in his mind, Morrissey's mind, is to kind of say, well, I got to make sure I bring someone in who's used to fighting the prosecution. So he brought in a criminal defense attorney to do to Karen's team what a defense attorney would do to a prosecutorial team. But I don't really know much more about the Bulgers and Morrissey's history.
Yeah, me either. I don't know enough about that. Howie Carr's the expert on that stuff.
We do. Here we go. I have turned over a lot less. We were duped. It's he or she meant dippity do and hairnet. Yeah, there's another one too. It's escaping me. Oh, yeah. If
dip it
someone
into
sees
it.
what Nick Rocco posted on Facebook, if someone could let me know, or I don't know if you saw it, Will, I'd be interested.
I did not. Yeah, I would have to go through
That's
and
okay.
see if Lindsay Ella, thank you so much. Hanky's been paid another $50,000 on 211. Total now 175,420. What happened to 75,000? Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what that source of information is, but I think that's pretty public. You can actually look that up somewhere.
Do you remember what I said a short while ago? There was a chat in your list here from a CPA. There's things being explored currently about that. But
Okay,
the short, I mean, I'm being in a very general way. Things
I
are,
got you.
but I will say this: this is a complete waste of taxpayer money. It is. There's
Yeah,
not with and Betterow, your king, has always said, with a prosecutor's office of that size, there is absolutely no reason why a special prosecutor needed to be brought in. And yes, I fully understand that the reporting in Vanity Fair said that none of the attorneys in the office wanted to take on the case. That's ridiculous. They all they're paid and have pensions funded by taxpayer money. So I
right.
don't give a shit if no one in the prosecutor's office there doesn't want to try the case. That's what you're fucking paid for. So you got to
Right.
spend taxpayer money to this degree, which is completely excessive. And who knows what Spanky's paralegal
Well,
is paid. Like,
I
it's
don't know if it's I don't know if it's unprecedented. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you didn't say that. I'm saying because I'm just correcting myself as I'm talking, but I'm thinking out loud because I want to say unprecedented, but I don't know if it's ever happened before. But it's definitely not something that's common. It's definitely not something that's normal to I mean to have such a lack of evidence, go to trial a second time,
right.
and then hire a special prosecutor. And this is the second time the same DA in a related case hired a special prosecutor, because he did that with Mello in the Turtle Boy case. And
Yes.
Turtle Boy's case is full of holes. Like, he didn't do any of the things that they're saying he did. And anything that was illegal shouldn't be illegal because that statute is unconstitutional. So
I agree, Will. And also, I'm not a political person, so I'm just going to make one statement, which is I understand there's an election coming up, whenever it is. And I apologize because Mike from the Young Jerks always talks about it, and I never am mindful of the date. But there's an election to where Morrissey is going to be or is being challenged. Okay. If I were a taxpayer in that jurisdiction, I would ask myself, why would I vote for this individual, Morrissey, to remain in that position
right.
when he can't staff an office and control and supervise an office to bring ethically sound, robust evidentiary cases like that have all of the nuts and bolts of solid prosecutions, with a team of prosecutors or assistant prosecutors there, fully prepared, staffed, and skilled enough to bring these cases, who skirts ethics rules and films private hostage videos and doesn't face the public scrutiny, who has troubling interrelations that were detailed, for example, in Aussie Insider's a recent video. So if I were a taxpayer up there, I can't tell you what to do, but if I were there, I'd really consider my decision at the polls next time around.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can really do.
Yeah.
Jessica Whaley, thank you so much. Emily Baker said having Alessi argue is brilliant. Did you think that? I already explained why I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think you agreed with me. And if Emily Baker, and I have not listened to Emily Baker today at all, but if she's validating my shit as well, then,
Yeah.
I'm just awesome. No, I'm just kidding.
He's a great arguer. I gotta listen to her too. He's a great arguer, but also he's once removed. So Yannetti, AJ, Little, we're all involved in some way, shape, or form with the fact pattern. So it was
Right.
prudent, and they were lucky enough to have another attorney who happens to be a badass maestro when he makes arguments with his trapper keeper. Like, I loved it, and I'm here for it, and I hope to have more Bob Alessi in my future streams, my live streaming when I'm on the treadmill.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Debbie Rose, thank you so much. Despite Alessi's exquisite arguments, Brennan basically just does not believe the defense when they say, "We have given you everything." He is calling them liars and feels entitled to their work product. Do you agree? I have thoughts on this, but please go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think. Wait, maybe I misunderstood the question. Brennan does not believe the defense when they say we've given you everything. I feel like you could say the same thing about the defense as it relates to Brennan. I think both sides are distrustful of the other side, and normally it doesn't work that way in criminal prosecutions. So, um, I I think Brennan is accusing them of more. I think he's doubling down, saying, "I don't believe, there must have been more emails or conversations between
Right.
AJ and Wolf or someone else, Rentschler, whomever else he claims that he spoke to there, because he wants to just dig, 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 and it's he wants I agree with you. That's my long-winded answer saying I agree, but both sides do not believe that the other side has provided everything, and I agree with the defense in that regard.
I agree with the defense, but I have to disagree. I don't think that Brennan believes that they are withholding more emails. I think that Brennan is using this apparition, this thing that is not real. It is a fugazi. It is not real. So there's no way to disprove it. So it is your argument against mine. I think you've been holding out on evidence. We've been asking you for this discovery, and you haven't been giving it to us. You haven't given it all to us. There has to be more emails, but there's not. I think there are, and you have been nefarious defense and blah, blah, blah. As long as the judge is looking at you doing something dirty and not what I did is doing something dirty, then I'm going to say whatever it takes to get that attention on you and not me.
Agreed.
That's what I believe is going on. I think he absolutely doesn't give a shit. He doesn't believe that there are more emails. He's just making it up because he thinks that it is it helps him if he can sell it. It advantages him because if he can sell it, then it becomes he could sell the illusion that the burden of proof is on them to prove that there's no more emails.
Agree. And you'll see that in trial as well. That if that is correct, and I believe you are right, that he's going to do that in his opening argument, in his closing argument, and in any little evidentiary arguments that have to pop up throughout the trial. That's one of his tells. He's going to say, "Don't look at this. Look the other way." It's deflecting, I guess, is what
it all falls under his MO now. Like, think of him as a criminal at this point. Fuck it, right?
Yeah.
And we're true crime junkies. Right. Exactly. It's not a stretch. So we're true crime junkies. So what do? You follow a pattern of an MO, right?
Yes.
This is all part of his MO. All of it.
All his MO. And if you were to
modus operandi, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah. And if you were to profile him, like, I think we should profile him a little bit. Like, I'm going to give that a little thought, because Debbie Rose's question here is, and your answer to it is making me want to kind of put together a profile of him. Being able to do that, and I say this as a lawyer, if I know how my adversary is and how they argue, and when I've really gotten to them with an argument, and what I know their weak spot is, and it really bothers them, then I try to advantage myself. It's like not only playing chess, but it's also kind of pick another sport where more than strategy has to matter, where skill and effort and exertion have to matter. So I want to profile him a little bit. And thank you, Debbie Rose, for making me think about wanting to do that.
That's awesome. So yeah, and here's the thing about Hank Brennan. This is where, when you say he's an idiot and I say he's not, when I say he's smart, here's the thing is he is a master at successfully achieving projection.
Yes.
With the blatantly obvious. So something is blatantly obviously nefarious on the Commonwealth's part and nothing on the defense's, but he has a way of successfully projecting it and selling it to where you're going, wait a minute, am I crazy?
Yeah.
For a second. And then you go, no. You put a little bit of thought into it and you go, no. But then you don't have enough faith that Judge Bev is going to do it, considering her track record. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
this is why I look at Hank Brennan the way that I do.
Yeah, he's like a smidiot. He's like a smart idiot now that I think about it.
Right.
But no, I agree. I think that way you described it, you are changing my mind about him. But I also think in other courtrooms, he probably wouldn't be able to get away with this. And
no way.
And what I saw him do last week with raising those unsupported assertions and then re-raising them today and doubling down on them. Someone like me says he's a fucking idiot, because no self-respecting lawyer.
No lawyer would do that, right?
Right. So, but you're right too. It's kind of like two things can be.
This is what makes me doubt Bev. That takes me to Bev right there. What you're talking about, and makes it difficult to believe. In order to make it make sense, the only way to make it make sense is to look at Bev.
Yeah.
He's allowing this shit. She's allowing it, and he is just getting away with whatever he can get away with because he knows he can. Why is that, is the question that we all should be asking. Why is Bev letting him get away with it to the point to where he feels so comfortable continuing to do it? That's the question we need to be asking.
I agree. You really did, Will, just boil a day's worth of bullshit and this history since September or October of 2024 until now, with Brennan, down into just a couple of key sentences and questions. That's the question. Like, what the hell is going on here? I completely agree with you. And why is Bev letting this go on? So
and why isn't the mainstream media talking their heads off about it?
Well, that I just don't get. And I don't remember what the headline was that you read, because that was around when my kids were getting home from school, but the News 5 or whomever it was who spun the defense admits to paying the ARCA experts or something. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And just so your audience is very clear, and I'm not sure I got that headline right. Just so your audience is clear, it's okay and expected and understandable for any lawyer to pay an expert for their costs, their expenses, etc. I also find the amount. I think
what they're trying to snag them on, though, is that they weren't truthful about it, is the claim.
Yeah, it's a snag here, and I'd be lying to you and to your audience if I said I understand all of the nuances on what was said and how it was said, and was it in a sidebar, and what was the precise question. I don't know it down to the minutia, and I would defer to any streamer who streams these, all day long, like someone like Melanie Little. Like, she watched like the whole hearing today. She reads these pleadings. She knows this stuff. And there's others as well. But the point is, I'm high level looking at this stuff. And even if there was this they're trying to trip up the defense because AJ may have made a statement about, well, did you pay them? Of course not. Or Christina Rex asked, well, did you pay them? No, I didn't. Whatever these trip ups are, it is all about how Alan Jackson subjectively understood the question. So, paying an expert is not the same in my mind subjectively, that if his expenses were paid, that's not paying an expert. That's
Right.
not. Hey, that is not in my vernacular. And I'm saying that very impartially, without influence. Reimbursing someone's travel expenses is not paying the expert. And I know
It
it may sound,
seems expected. I
yes,
mean, it seems expected. Okay, so you're coming to testify at a trial. You're losing money because you're taking time out of what your priorities are. So we're gonna try to make this as least of an inconvenience on you as we possibly can.
right.
That's not
But-
paying them off. That's not bribing. That's not influencing them to testify one way or another. I mean, the fact is, and I think that the major thing to take away from Alessi's argument is what they're trying to accuse them of is influencing the ARCA experts. But the fact is that their testimony, and this is the indisputable
Yes.
fact, the testimony was consistent with the initial reports that caught the attention of the defense to reach out to them to get them to testify. So that report already existed before they even reached out to them to testify. Right.
And the prosecution could have reached out as well, but they didn't because they didn't like their fucking opinions.
Nothing was altered. Their testimony was consistent with the reports.
And when you think about, and I would encourage any of my newfound friend content creators, and I consider you all newfound friends to me, but I encourage you all in your spare time, if you ever have it, to look back briefly at the ARCA experts' cross-examinations of Wolf and Rentschler, and see where Lally went with them. Okay, I don't have time to do it. Maybe all of you in the audience do. I want to know, and you should want to know, where Lally went with these two experts about what opportunities did he miss to cross-examine them, to undermine them, to show bias or partiality on their part. Did he ask them questions like, well, have you been paid? Has your company been paid? Who paid for you to come here today? How much did you bill? Did you send a bill?
I'm listening. I just got to step away for a second, but I'm listening.
Yeah, like the point is having an opportunity, and I mean, I didn't go through the ARCA cross-examinations with a critical eye when they happened in trial 1.0, but going back and seeing if Lally really asked pretty elemental cross-examination questions of the ARCA witnesses about, how impartial they really are, which harkens me back when Will has stepped away and I don't really control his platform. It harkens me back to what I was saying before, which is I am shocked that Judge Bev didn't ask Lally a single question today. And again, I'm making an assumption he was in the courtroom. I didn't see that he was. I wasn't really looking for him. And frankly, I go out of my way to block him out of my mind. But she may have had some poignant questions for him. I would encourage anyone, if you figure out if he asked questions of them during cross-examination as to, what their bias may or may not have been, please do so. And Will's back, which reminds me, I should probably get to your next super chat. I don't see how many you have still.
Well, real quick, I got a lot. Real quick, let me give a shout out to Brandy Churchwell, 13th jurors in the chat, and Mizzy's in the chat too.
I respect you guys so much.
Yeah, they're awesome. And Kim Babalui, I pulled it off the first time. Nan, would you like to have seen Alessi talk a bit more about the Sixth Amendment today, or is that better saved for another day?
That's a great question. I think he spent a little bit of time on it. It's another, it's a fight for another day. It wasn't central to the arguments he was making today.
Trish, Bev asking for metadata today on the emails. Okay. I don't remember that, but
I don't either.
Dog Lover says, do you think there's any chance it will be dismissed? Thank you both. Ooh, that is a good question. I'll just be quick and say, I think there's a better chance of it getting dismissed this time than the last time when they tried to dismiss it before the trial started. They did file a motion to dismiss in 1.0, but she didn't approve. So I think this time there's a better chance, but I wouldn't. I mean, we know she should, but it's Bev.
We have to see, and I'm assuming Dog Lover 25, your question is the motion to dismiss, not the current issue to bar ARCA or anything like that. But if it's the motion to dismiss, I remain hopeful that it will be dismissed. Better chance, like Will said. But I haven't seen the motion yet, so it's really hard to forecast that without seeing all the arguments.
Yeah, good point.
Which I should remind anybody, like, I'm not barred up in that state. So once it hits the docket, like, I don't get it unless people post this stuff online. So just remember that for us people who don't have direct access for these pleadings ourselves.
Spanky's number 2 pencils. Nan and Glare, Bev will not exclude ARCA due to Bev wanting trial to start on time on April 1st. Bev has big summer plans, crab walking and drinking White Claws. Doubt she will. Nan, you're truly amazing. Yes, Nan, you are truly amazing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. By the way, Will, someone in your chat earlier, when you were streaming earlier, called us Gallagher. I thought that was funny.
Gallagher. I love it.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It is. Nefarious Commonwealth. Thank you. Since Bev is so concerned about witness intimidation, how does she feel about being responsible for the crash daddies being harassed? Did Alessi mention that at all? Alessi did not mention that. But the thing is, man, it's a good point. It is a good point. And I feel like that can come up later. But I think that it was a good strategy on Alessi's part to just stick to the facts, not seem like he was personally involved, because that's why I said earlier that I thought it was brilliant that he presented this argument, because he wasn't there when all of these things supposedly took place. He looked at the facts, presented an argument with the facts and for the truth, and that was it. So there's no emotional involvement in his argument. There's no element of that, and that was what was so brilliant about it. So if he would have brought that up, it probably would have added to that emotional element that he was trying to avoid.
I agree. And also the motto that I follow is like one shit at a time. It was elemental to the defense to survive this issue. They got to survive this current application that Brennan has filed. And honestly, I don't even know what Brennan is asking for, because he keeps saying he has no problem with ARCA, but yet he's not saying AJ must be removed, Yannetti must be removed, Little must be removed. He's not saying actually what he wants. So with all of that said, it would have been, in my opinion, a little imprudent for then Alessi to start saying, oh, and by the way, the crash daddies are getting harassed, or their families are. That actually could give Bev a reason to remove them from the case anyway. Because, so this is the kind of bullshit.
Yeah, that could give Bev, that could totally give Bev a window to just be like, well, in the interest of safety for these witnesses, I'm going to go ahead and excuse them. And that's bullshit, like, and then she gets to think that she made herself look like a hero, and it
Yeah.
fucked Karen Reed's case.
I think it was, now that I saw Nefarious Commonwealth's question, I think there was a clear intentional decision on the part of the defense not to bring the issue of harassment up.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. See, there you go.
I'm with you.
Let's see. Misty, we love our Bettero, but Nan says it all with snark. Well, Bettero's got his snark too.
Yeah.
Don't discredit Bettero, but yeah, Nan's one of a kind, man.
He's snarky though. I can't wait. Someday I'm gonna meet him and I'm gonna have fun. And I hope other people are around to see it.
There's no comparison. Then you know what I mean. There's not one that's better than the other. They bring their own shit, man.
Do you remember the old ads, Will, for peanut butter cups? Like the chocolate and the peanut butter. You put your peanut butter in my chocolate. You put your chocolate in my peanut butter. Like I look at Bettero and me, and I'm nowhere on his level. But he's chocolate and I'm peanut butter, or vice versa. But they're better together. They're Bettero together-o. You know what I mean? So, but he's the king. Want to be very clear, Joe Flipperhead. Bettero is king.
But you're the queen, I mean,
I'm the po boy.
There you go. She's the po boy. Grave concern for Bev's bias. Nan, what is the Judicial Oversight Committee? What kind of role could they play in this?
I can't answer.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to answer that.
We've already, Lindsay, Ella, go ahead.
There are services are available. As I tell all the trolls online, services are available. You could probably find the answer to that question.
Right on. Lindsay, Ella, thank you so much. It's all so scary. I don't have trust anymore that the right thing will be done. The system is compromised in Massachusetts. I wish I could be more optimistic. Well, there's really nothing that you can do except hope, and educate people about the case.
Well, and hearkening back, Will, to your reference to Punjab from Annie earlier this afternoon, which literally had me rolling. Another way to approach I think her name was Lindsay's question was going back to the Annie movie as well, or the Annie play. The sun will come out tomorrow. I sing that song to my son almost every night. And I would encourage you to do it too, because it's all about just keep the faith. It's a slow road.
The cobwebs and
then the sorrow.
Till there's none.
When I'm stuck with the day. Sorry. Okay.
That's
but anyway.
gray and lonely. I saw Annie. I saw the original movie when I was a little kid in the theater in Dominican Republic.
I starred in Annie.
Yeah.
In my town.
Really?
A play growing up. Yes. But anyway, that's for a petty stream.
Right on. Amor Valesi. I believe Hank was brought as a defense attorney for the McAlberts and the Meatball. Yes, we all believe that, sort of.
Yeah,
sure.
I agree with you. Amor.
Yes. Better with Irish. Bulgers equals Fed. Spanky hates the Feds, particularly FBI, for what they did to Whitey. Okay. Aquanet and Brile Cream. A little dabble, do ya?
Brill cream.
Okay.
By the way, Aquanet was the hairspray that I was thinking about, and Brill cream, which is 100% accurate.
A little dabble, do ya? Piney Woods Law and Crime. Hey, y'all, don't have a question, but wanted to say I wholeheartedly agree with the both of you. Also, Nan, spot on about enough verified evidence to remove Hanky. Yes. Yes, Piney Woods Law and Crime is a retired attorney.
I have heard that about you.
And Amor Valesi again must have been reasonable doubt. Okay. Thank you so much. Brennan has an agenda. Thank you, Sanya. So does Bev. Enough said. And then I think JFK's in the chat. Turbulence in the chat.
Hey, JFK, if you're in the chat, like, when you have your shows, half the time I'm almost going to sleep. So I promise I'm going to get in your chat soon. I know you're not asking, but a lot of people ask me to join. And I really enjoy you and James. You guys are fabulous. And I love Fockery Donut.
Yeah, those guys are just hilarious, bro. They're great. AKA the cat lady, member for 4 months. Does defense have to turn over impeachment materials?
They do.
They do.
Yes. And Massachusetts is in the minority of jurisdictions. Most jurisdictions in the United States do not require the other side to hand over impeachment evidence, at least not before the direct examination takes place. Massachusetts is in the minority. It's within the discretion of the judge to require it. And surprise, surprise, look what Bev did. She's allowing, she is exercising her discretion to rule that it has to be handed over ahead of time. It's a real problem, in my opinion, because it does affect Karen's ability to confront her accusers, which is a constitutional right.
Right. Yeah. If you're presumed innocent, then this should be in her favor, not against her. Hashtag hanky panky. Thank you so much. I'm not one to crush on anyone other than hubby, but Alessi is fire. I could listen to his brilliance all day long. Oh, you like that shit? Hashtag hanky panky. You like that shit? Getting pointed at and stuff. I love it.
And hey, but hashtag just water this evening. Only Nan or Lawferio paid the piper on Sunday for that vodka enhanced stream.
Badass bitch. 4.99 says Spanky wants to beat the defense lawyers, not convict Karen. Well, yeah, that's the only way he could even dream of getting a conviction. But he can't. So
yeah, and that tells you everything you need to know about the merits of their case.
Right, exactly. And Piney Woods again, thank you so much. Brennan's lies are dangerous to misread only to the extent Bev lets them slide. Great point. A better judge would keep Brennan in line. She must recuse. Sua sponte.
Sua sponte. I agree with you. I agree.
Lauleen.
Wait, is Piney Woods Lawleen?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
I get mixed
up with all of the handles out there. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Nan would love to send you shirt C pick.
It may
okay.
it may you may be trying to send me a picture of a shirt that I asked for. So if you send it to me, I will look later. I've been ocupado today. Thank you.
Ocupado. Alessi's binder.
Yeah.
Brennan's binder. I'm Hispanic. It's okay for me to make this voice. Why didn't Bev ask any questions about Hank's lies? That's a great question, but we already did cover that pretty much. I mean,
it's a great question.
And are you worried? The itemized bill stating testimony.
So
good question. Are you worried about the itemized bill that's stated in testimony or stating testimony?
So the short answer is no, I'm not worried. But the briefly longer answer is that all went down right when my attention was dispersed among other professional and familial obligations. So I will have to dig a little bit further into actually what that invoice said and what was indicated by AJ, but I'm not worried about it because there really was no substantive trial prep, and the report was prepared before all of this. So the short answer is no, I'm not worried, but I can't speak articulately as to what it exactly said. But I'm sure I'll put something on social media.
Yeah. Yeah, ex-Buffa man, the defense Alessi gave Brennan an out today, and Brennan doubled down and came off like an ass. Isn't this a good learning experience to bait Brennan into being an ass in front of the jury? If anybody can do it, I have absolute 100% confidence that Alessi can. I know Jackson and or Yannetti or Little even now that I've seen her in action pre-trial this time around, as much as I have, I think that it's an airtight chance that if they need to be able to do that, somebody can do it. There's always somebody who can.
Yeah, and strategically, even though now we know, that they baited him and he doubled down, I would always say it's still best for the defense to still be honorable. To when we say things like the gloves are off, it's going to be a street fight, etc. Like, and I know it's proverbial when we do that, right? But ultimately, like, I only say this as a lawyer, like, these defense lawyers have to sleep at night, and they should never, in my opinion, compromise their ethics, their skills, their integrity to kind of get down to his amoeba-like level. Okay, he's a peon, he's a jerk. He doubled down today. He's an idiot. Sorry, Will. He's a smidiot. But the point is, like, I would respect Karen's team most, as I continue to do, because they handled very serious accusations against him of ethics violations with grace. So now they know how to bait him, though, which will be fun to watch.
Right. Yeah. And thank you, Connie. You were with Melanie all day. Yeah, she kicks ass. And now you're here. So right on. Thank you for being here. And Lola, the good dog Nan, are you familiar with mass common law double jeopardy principles? When mistrial, hung jury, the defense is entitled to a review of the legal sufficiency of evidence before another trial takes place. Could this help Karen Reed?
So the short answer is no. I'm not familiar with the granular aspects of Massachusetts double jeopardy case law or anything like that. At a high level, yes, it could help Karen Reed if that's a requirement that the state mandates, that there's a review of the legal sufficiency. What I would suggest anyone do, if you're ever looking to really better understand the real granular aspects of what the case law says, especially up there in Massachusetts, is to follow Brother Counsel. He puts together anywhere from 20-minute to 30-minute videos that are really driven towards pulling and looking at the precedent. And I believe he might have also dug into this very issue. So shout out to Brother Counsel on that. And he would be better adept at answering that question for you.
Yeah. Joe Flipperhead wants to know if he can post the video where he photoshopped you as Bev.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. I mean, look, okay. I got to tell you, because I told Nurse Kim this when I was on her stream. Right before this happened, where I kind of entered a scene that I didn't really know I was fully entering, I cut like 8 inches or 7 or 8 inches off my hair. I got some bangs. I went a little lighter with my hairdo. And unintentionally, I ended up resembling Judge Bev. Okay? But like, it's really unfucking believable. But yeah, Joe, knock yourself out. And to some of the pictures that have been coming out, was it Larry Legend, or was it Joe Flipperhead? So I get so many people sending me pictures. There's like a Lawferio picture where I've got the like shining eyes.
Yeah. I miss Twitter for the memes for sure. I miss being able to make the memes and put them up there, but I could do that with my Facebook page too. Cat Randall wants to know, which witness does Bev want to see the most in a new trial? Asking for a friend. Oh, that would be Dr. Wolf.
I think it's Dr. Wolf. Although there was someone else she was quite enamored with. I gotta think back to that. She was loving somebody.
I know she felt she was totally smitten by Weinberg. Maybe just because Weinberg. he was a sweet old man or whatever, but she was just like, the whole time he was talking, it was crazy.
She loved his little like ponytail in the back, or however he wears his hair there. She was loving that. But there was a fact witness that she was loving, and I can't think of who it was. Was it Whiffen?
Ian Whiffen?
Ew. Okay. She's got
All right.
got to readjust her priorities there. All
Clevin
right.
shitty grin. Great to see Paul in court today, looking sharp, no itchy chin. Funny stuff. Oh,
Agreed.
and then AJ Charles, I cannot believe she's going to fine for Spanky. Tell me it ain't so. It would be so flagrant. I don't know what that means. Fine for Frankie or for Spanky. I don't know what that means. Lisa, unless you got an understanding of it there, Nan.
I think he's I actually didn't catch his or her gender in that question, but I think that the person was asking like he or she thinks the Judge Bev is going to decide in favor of Brennan to block out ARCA as experts, to remove them as experts, and potentially to remove AJ.
Okay.
And I don't think that's happening. But weird shit happens up there. God save the Commonwealth.
God save the Commonwealth. Lisa wants to know, what eyeshadow are you wearing, and can you give us a little preview of your moonwalk, please?
That's it. I'm not previewing moonwalks. And by the way, I inadvertently posted some stupid makeup ad today instead of Brit Happens stream on Twitter. So I apologize for that. My eyeshadow, I don't remember. I put like 3 or 4 different ones on. I love doing makeup. But if you message me, Lisa, find me on Twitter, or my Facebook is linked to Twitter at the top. Send me a message and I'll let you know. But it's 3 different brands.
Wow.
You give a shit, Will. You're gonna give a shit, Will.
I actually, believe it or not, I appreciate when women do their nails,
Jersey.
It's not even like a sexual thing. It's just man, that's a really cool thing to really put some effort into, because I've seen some really intricate shit done, and I'm just wow, that's fucking dope. The same guy that appreciates tattoos, part of me kind of appreciates that too. You know what I mean? In that sense.
I have a tattoo as well. Maybe I'll show you on your next vodka stream.
Leota Henderson says, I wonder if Peggy is there to protect the poor witnesses. Great show as always. Yes, we talked about that. Yes, we all agree with you. Erica Madden, thank you so much. Nan, is it a commonplace for a judge to interrupt counsel this much and or recesses as much as this does? We talked about this too.
Not common.
And no, it's not common. Let's see.
You're getting a lot of super chats.
That's it. We caught up. Amazing. I will
say this. I'm probably gonna stick on with you, Will, till about 8:45, because that fits a little bit better with me getting my kids ready for school tomorrow and then to bed. But I understand that I think Turtle Boy is on after you. So I apologize. I can't stay on till 9.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. I'm just grateful that you took the time with your busy schedule to hang out, because I know that I've been dying to pick your brain about today all day, and I'm so glad that you were able to do that with me here. And I hope that we can make this a regular thing after these hearings.
Sure. Just to set everyone's expectations, I usually don't watch streams all day long, etc. But I catch content creators on 1.5 or 2 speed throughout trials, etc. And I'm more than happy to help any content creator just to get the word out, or to give you guys very opinionated snark that has a legal bite to it.
Yeah. I mean, I find legal insight on this channel invaluable. And I welcome it as much as I can. And somebody with your snark who isn't afraid to express your opinions on this case is even more valuable to me. So thank you so much for taking the time. I know you've got the wifey and mommy thing to do, and and you've got a law firm to run, and you even said that you didn't even do anything billable today.
I tried. I did a couple little things after after court wrapped. But yeah, I didn't think, just like I think you didn't think today was going to go as long as it did. And usually I can multitask where I'm working and listening, but I was following Alessi's magic and your chat so like aggressively, I couldn't look away from it. To the point where like I feel like I probably look stoned right now just because my eyes have been staring at like
I know I do.
yeah, I know you do. But just staring at a screen all day. But I'm always happy to like try to hop in and really to anybody, if you need me to hop in during the trial, I'll give you guys some insights.
Right
You
on.
you had someone ask a question just a moment ago, which was, did we think I think the question was, do we think Betterow was going to be added to the team, or will Betterow be added to the team? And just a couple points on that. As we said before, I haven't seen an affidavit or a more detailed certification come in from Yannetti as to Betterow's qualifications. I am not telling Betterow to come travel up to Massachusetts if and when he doesn't need to. So I love you from afar, Mr. Betterow, but I will tell you this: like I would love to see you up there and to kind of set things straight if you are being considered for limited admission to the state on this additional matter, because I feel like what Special Prosecutor Brennan did to you was wholly improper, and maligned you a little bit. And I don't think anyone can set that record straight. Anyone just like you. So I think you're uniquely qualified to do so.
So Kelly, Karen's cousin here, says, Nan, I asked Bob if he had any musical background. He said absolutely none. His daughter was there and she agreed.
Damn it. I would have
well-
sworn he had that background. That's
Well,
amazing, Kelly.
some people are just musical with their words, and
Like
at
you.
the end of the day, there's a rhythm to everything.
He's
and
very good. Very,
he
very
knows
good.
he knows how to find his rhythm, that's for sure.
Hey, Kelly, at some point during Melanie's stream today, she pointed out that you looked extremely pissed off. For what it's worth, I was like, whoa, I had to stop. I was doing something else, and then I had to stop and freeze frame it. Now, look, pausing, she paused it, and, working pauses is like a work of art, but you did look pissed off today. So sending
Yes,
you a virtual hug.
and tomorrow is Karen Reed's birthday, as I understand it. And and I think is it today or is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. And then the day after, I think, is when Maz is going to do his 12-hour stream. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I got to tell you, you are a incredible breath of fresh air to this community.
Me?
For those, yes, you.
Oh, I think we were talking to Kelly.
No, well, Kelly, of course, but the what you have done just by setting an example of generosity, support, insight, applying logic, applying passion, is, I find, personally very inspiring, and I am very grateful to you for that. And I think most people here would agree with me, if not all would agree with me.
You're gonna give me the feels again this time. Thank you so much.
It's the truth. I mean, you've done so much to support Karen, and you've done so much just to support the supporters. And that is something that I will never, ever, ever forget. When things like this, you can ask Cherry. I mean, when there is a case that I become so passionate about, and there was only one other one that even came close, and that's where I actually picked Cherry up as a mod, and a friend, and it brings out the worst in bad people, but it brings out the best in good people, and that is something that is a blessing that I will always cherish whenever it comes to passion project cases like this that I'm involved in. So thank you for being part of that and contributing that for me. It's
Oh, thank
great.
you so much. You are so sweet. You're like a big teddy bear. You really are. And I did hear this morning that Tom CPU, and I missed it just because how this day went, but he had arranged and procured 50 roses for people
Yeah.
to Karen when she was coming, I believe, out of court, which, as we all know, was like after 4:00 p.m. and I wasn't checking streams at that point. Like, does anyone know if that actually came to fruition? And by the way, Tom CPU, like, if you did that, that's so special. Like, there's a reason why I do gravitate towards this movement, Will, in response to what you just said about me. It's like there's so much heart. Everybody, I mirror what I'm seeing from all of you. So thank you.
Yes. And so Tom's effort was a success today.
Oh, good.
According to the chat. And yes, everything. I mean, yes, it's just reiterates everything I just said, because it's so, so many good people. Like, meeting these people, when you get to meet these people, I can't wait for that for you, because they are so kind, so hospitable, and I'm so grateful to them, and then it's just so shocking that they're just as grateful to me, and it's just like, wow.
Like, it's like a yin and a yang. I love that.
It really is. It really is. And it's just an overwhelming feeling to be around so much people, so many people who are driven by the same passion for justice. It's amazing.
I think you're getting the feels.
Oh, I always do. I I always do when it comes to this. And after a day like today, where we just watched Sugar Ray and Marvelous Marvin Hagler just going at it, just throwing blows, man.
Yeah.
That's what we just watched. It was crazy. And it's chaotic. It's like the ref wasn't even doing nothing.
And by the way, like, I've said this on other streams, and I probably said it on yours. Like, it's to all of you who just watch from afar, or who are boots on the ground, who are just interested in this case and justice for not only Karen, but Officer John O'Keefe. I can only tell you, it's very, very surreal to be having a conversation with a content creator whom you follow and respect and really just gravitate towards. Like, it's weird. It's like, find one of your heroes, or find a celebrity, and then just imagine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I said to my son the other day, I said, "Oh, I'm going to be on the Glarer again." And my son was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What is it like?" And I was like, "Well, he's a big Mets fan. That, like, don't hate Massachusetts, but my son is 9 years old and he likes the Mets." And he said, "It's like
Mets are pond scum."
Yeah, and he goes like, "Is it like talking to Pete Alonso?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's like talking to Pete Alonso." So
Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild, because like there in Massachusetts, I'll get some love in that regard, and I'm just like, no, like I feel that way meeting you. Like, I see you in my chat, and I'm just like, yo, you know what I mean? So it's just wild, because like the truth is I'm just up here doing the same thing you're doing, really, except I don't have the education to back up and validate my opinions.
You don't need the education. This is self-evident, and you're better than you think with the elemental, like, real nitty-gritty.
And I just mean that I'm just like up here just talking about this like I would talk to anybody else, because I'm passionate about it. You know what I mean? And for people to be entertained by it, I'm blessed. And I hope it continues. I hope we can continue to feed off of each other the way that we do. Me and you, and me in the chat, and just as long as people enjoy it, I'll keep doing it. So
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I would welcome any opportunity. And if there's ever anything you need or Cherry needs, like you know what I need? I need like you to be barking at Cherry more. I need that. I need that on your streams. I love when you're like, I need this, get me this. It's like it's the way I talk to my secretary, you know. And not that she's your secretary, but it reminds
No,
me of how I talk to my secretary. And
no,
you know
no,
what would be
man.
fun one night? Just call-ins because man, I need
Yeah, I
someone to,
love the
like, not that
call-ins.
Dina and that woman Stacy the other night. She was fucking unbelievable.
And
Maybe
it's funny how they always seem to get through too, you know? Like it's funny.
I almost called in yesterday. I was gonna surprise you, but I did not.
Yeah, Cherry is the boss. She's totally the boss.
Yes, Cherry, all much respect to you. You are the boss. I love it.
Yeah, so amazing. I may just wrap this up as tonight. A big shout out to my mods, all my mods, and you know, especially Cherry, but all my mods, Scott, Messerschmidt, Scott, just Scott, whatever handle he's going with now. I forgot what it was. It was something clever. But you know, Scott McGinnis, all you guys who help out in the chat, man, thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. And thank you guys all for your generosity tonight and your support. I'm glad we got to get through all of the super chats. It actually made for a really good live because everything we covered everything from today, all the points that we wanted to make, without having to go through the actual video of it. It was still pretty fresh in our minds.
Yeah, like I
So-
feel like we had a little PTSD from the day watching all of that, but you had great coverage today and it was great to hit all of the points. And Will, can I say this? Because even if you wrap it up,
Please.
I need to take the opportunity to tell your audience before you wrap it up. Aiden's starting at 9:00. And when you go over there, I want you to tell them that it's a Glare and Nan raid, even though it's 15 minutes away. I want you to tell them that it's a Glare and Nan raid.
All
I've
right,
always
you
wanted
heard
to
her.
do that.
Yeah, right on. Okay. Yeah, sweet. So yeah, Nan is calling out her first raid, and it is a Glare and Nan raid. I am honored, and it's on Turtle Boy's chat, so that's even more of an honor. So thank you so much. Is there any final thoughts for everyone here?
Oh, my final thoughts are okay.
Yeah.
My final thoughts are keep the faith. We never know what Bev is going to do. There wasn't enough here for anyone like me in the normal legal world to be concerned about AJ's position on the defense team or ARCA's position as experts, even if ARCA is struck and AJ is removed, which I don't foresee. There are avenues that can and will be pursued to rectify those decisions, whether it's an appeal in a different jurisdiction because there's a violation of constitutional rights to an attorney of her choice, or whether there's an avenue to procure a different expert, although I still don't think that's going to happen. So just keep the faith, guys. It's you're not there yet. So it's okay to decompress and relax and unclench and let this day go and stay fired up and keep telling everybody when you encounter them about the injustice that's going on and just
stay logical and stick to the facts because
Yeah.
smart people are the people you want to educate on this, and smart people gravitate towards facts and logic. So stick to the facts when you explain this to people, and stay calm, you know, and take it easy, you know, just like Bettero put on Twitter yesterday. Everybody just calm down. Just relax. These things, this one thing, and I'm gonna close with this, is at the end of the day, you gotta have faith because the truth is on Karen Reed's side. The truth is on Karen Reed's side. No matter what, the truth is gonna prevail, especially with this much attention on the case. And each day that these shenanigans go on, the hidden blessing that's always there. Now there might be more hidden blessings, but the one that's consistently always there is the fact that the world is watching. The world is watching this, and it's becoming more and more apparent. Each shenanigan comes with the blessing that it's opening people's eyes that much more. More people are going, what the fuck is going on with this? What is happening right now?
Right.
Each time something happens, each time Brennan lies, and each time Bev lets it go, there's the blessing in there that more and more people are paying attention to this and seeing it. It is etched in history, and there's not going to be any escaping it when the time comes for reckoning. So
I like that. That was very zen. Yeah. Stay calm and carry on. I think I'm gonna get someone make me a shirt. Stay calm and Alessi on. I love that too.
a chiver shirt.
Yeah.
Chivers. Okay. All right, people. That's it for me and Nan. Nan, thank you so much. You are absolutely fantastic. We all love you, and we can't wait till the next time that you're here. Thank you for everything.
Thanks for having me. It's so great to be here.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, my friends. Thank you guys. Make sure to hit the like if you haven't already. Please make sure to subscribe. Double check if you're still subscribed, if you were already subscribed, because YouTube likes to unsubscribe from people. I don't know why it does that, but please make sure you're still subscribed. If you're new subscribers, I really appreciate you guys. I hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you continue to enjoy the channel. And all of the support. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for everything. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.